I'm back again. We're gonna jump right into it, man. I ain't gonna play with you guys today.
LeBron James is finally confronting Stephen A. Smith, and it's getting messy. It all started when Stephen took a shot at Bronny, kicking off one of the wildest sports feuds in recent memory. Now LeBron's firing back, live and unfiltered. And the twist? Stephen just responded. Does the NBA need to step in?
I think they need to step in. They need to calm this nonsense down.
Courtside confrontation. The NBA's seen its fair share of feuds, from Shaq versus Kobe to Draymond punching Jordan Poole to Jimmy Butler calling out Karl Anthony Towns. But nothing's quite exploded like this LeBron versus Stephen A. Smith saga. And this recent IG Live confrontation just took it to another level. Now, for anyone who doesn't know how it all started, here's the backstory. It all centers around Bronny James, LeBron's eldest son, who was drafted 50th
now here's the twist.
by the Lakers in 2024, making history as the first father-son duo to ever play together.
Congratulations to that.
But with that historic achievement came an avalanche of criticism. And at the center of it all was Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN analyst.
He's a journalist, right? And he's a journalist? He's a journalist, right?
Smith had been relentless in his criticism of Bronny's NBA readiness. And let me tell you, he wasn't holding back. Check out what Stephen A.
He's a journalist, right? I'm just saying he's a journalist.
Because he's not ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be ready. I'm not here to tell you that he won't be an NBA player. I'm not here to tell you that he should give up his dreams and his aspirations. I think the kid's got potential. I think the kid will be in the NBA one day. I watched him in the G League doing this thing. I think he's going to be fine. Eventually.
Sooner or later.
Night after night, Smith would dissect Bronny's performance, question his qualifications, and paint a picture of a young man who was only in the league because of his last name.
And it's true. True. He's only in the league because his dad's name is LeBron James.
Saw as LeBron's role in the situation.
Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in the NBA
I ain't gotta make this shit up.
And 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game? Really? And everybody wants to look at it and LeBron has nothing to do with that.
This wasn't just casual commentary. This was a systematic breakdown of why Stephen...
Now, this is my thing with all that, because it sparked so much. Stephen A. Smith is a sports analyst. He's a journalist. He get paid to talk about sports. That's his job. His job is to talk about sports. He is talking about sports. Now, LeBron James, on the other hand, he got upset, as any dad should, but... And everybody said this. Yes, as a father, you should be upset if somebody's talking about your kid. If somebody talking about your kid, you check them. But if your kid is playing sports and all they doing is critiquing sports, well then you need to talk to everybody that's been said something negative about your son. You won't just talk to the old man. You go talk to the NBA players that said something about your son. You go talk to everybody that's said your son is trash, your son is weak, your son is terrible, your son don't belong here. Go walk up on them. Walk up on somebody else that you play with. Go walk up on all of them. Walk up on them. But you walked up on Stephen A. Smith.
believed Bronny didn't belong on an NBA roster. And then came the part that really hit LeBron where it hurt, when Smith started questioning LeBron's parenting decisions.
I'm not being cruel to Bronny. I'm looking out. Do you want it this way, LeBron? Do you want it this way, Rich Paul? Do you want it this way? He can't go into the G League and average 20, 25 and stay there until he's ready? Because he's LeBron's son, you know how they're going to judge him.
Now you can start to see why LeBron's patience was wearing thin. Stephen A. wasn't just criticizing the basketball.
And he's telling the truth. Why not let him stay in the G League till he's ready? Ain't that what most people do in the G League? Don't they stay until they get ready? OG topping? G League, NBA, G League. You stayed in the G League until he was ready to play, and he's ready to play. So what's wrong? Because it's LeBron James' son. That's the problem.
There's a difference between criticizing a player's performance and what LeBron felt was a personal attack on his family.
Hey, Grace, how you doing?
Using boxing analogies to make his point about protecting young athletes from situations they might not be ready for.
I used the boxing analogy on First Take earlier today, and I used Marvis Frazier, the son of Joe Frazier. Go back and look at the highlights. He went into the ring against heavyweight champion Larry Holmes, who had one of the best jabs and one of the best right hands in boxing history. And I remember Larry Holmes being interviewed and saying, ain't no kid with 10 damn fights beating me. That's what he said. And then went in there and beat him in the first round.
This analogy was particularly cutting because Stephen A. was essentially comparing LeBron to Joe Frazier, a legendary fighter who put his son in a situation he wasn't ready for with devastating consequences. Smith continued this comparison, making it clear that he thought LeBron was making the same mistake.
That's all I'm saying. With LeBron, the best of intentions, wonderful father by all accounts. I'm not casting any aspersions on him. I'm saying that's your son, bro. You know the game of basketball. He ain't ready.
He ain't ready.
Why put him in
that position? Exactly.
You had your moment being on the court with him.
The tension had been building for weeks. Every game, every stat line, every missed shot from Bronny became ammunition for Smith's arguments. And while some criticism might have been fair, Bronny was averaging modest numbers in limited minutes. LeBron felt that Smith had crossed the line from professional sports commentary into something more personal and damaging.
Because LeBron's soft.
During what should have been a routine timeout, when he spotted Stephen A. Smith sitting.
But you ain't run up on Jaylen Brown that said something about your son. You ain't run up on Kendrick Perkins. You ain't run up on half the league. That's they suck their lips like this nigga.
But in that moment, LeBron's focus was laser sharp on one person. What happened next was captured on video by a fan and would go viral within hours. LeBron walked straight up to Smith and, according to lip readers and subsequent reports, told him, "Keep my son out of this shit, bro." The intensity was palpable. The moment was electric, and everyone in that arena knew they were witnessing something unprecedented. Think about the courage, or some might say audacity, it takes to confront one of the most powerful voices of sports media in front of thousands of fans and countless cameras. This wasn't LeBron, the basketball player, making this move. This
again, I'm not knocking the man for standing up for his son. What I'm knocking is Stephen A. Smith didn't say nothing about you but being a bad father. It says it right there. It's on every videos, every media stream. He never said nothing bad about the man's son. Not one, never said nothing bad about you as a father. What he said is, you as a father, you know your son was not ready to come into the league. You knew that. But you put your son in here because you want to play with your son. We get it. But your son is not ready to be in the league. He's not. That hurt his feelings. He hurt his feelings by saying your son ain't ready. Well, you can tell your son ain't ready. What, he ain't put up no good numbers in the NBA. None. He had one good game. One. But we spent the whole year talking about LeBron James' son. We ain't talking about none of the top 3 dudes that got picked in the draft. We talking about LeBron James' son, who got picked in the 2nd round, the 55th pick. We talked about the Lakers all season. That's basically what all Stephen A. Smith is doing. He's doing his job. I'm talking about sports. He's told them when he went on Gilbert Arenas, I get paid to talk about y'all. I don't get paid to talk to y'all. There's a big difference. I get paid to critique y'all. I don't get paid to talk to you. No, I get paid to talk about you. Get an interview. Yeah, that's what I get paid for. But LeBron took it the wrong way. Now, see that in the ring culture and your son playing. The shit just funny to me, people. The shit, you know what I'm saying? It's to me, I'm about half and half from not watching sports because it's predicted. We all know what's going to happen. They just bought the Lakers for $10 billion. LeBron opted in. I see a ring. One more, and that's the whole shit. That's the whole thing.
Father drawing a line in the sand and saying, "Enough is enough." The confrontation was described by witnesses as tense but controlled, with LeBron's message being clear and direct. He wasn't looking for a fight. He wasn't trying to create a scene for attention. He was a father defending his son against what he perceived as unfair and potentially damaging commentary. Stephen A. Smith, to his credit, maintained his composure during the confrontation, but you could see the surprise on his face, the realization that this wasn't just another day at the office covering the NBA. This was personal. This was real.
See, look at the camera, and you notice how he walked away. Notice when he walked away,
later,
he's looking at the person.
The encounter in more detail.
Like, oh yeah, you got me.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard.
This acknowledgement from Stephen A was crucial because it showed that even in the heat of the moment, he understood this wasn't about basketball criticism. This was about a father protecting his child. The video of the confrontation spread like wildfire across social media platforms. Within hours, the clip had garnered millions of views, with fans, analysts, and celebrities weighing in on both sides of the argument. Some praised LeBron for defending his family, while others criticized him for confronting a member of the media doing his job. Truth is, the March 6th confrontation set the stage for what would become one of the most fascinating media battles in recent sports.
It was some bullshit.
Both sides
it was
used
crazy.
their platforms to
But
advance
you ain't
their
walk up on
narratives
no.
and
This is what I'm
defend their
saying.
cause.
You ain't walk up on Jaylen Brown.
Media war.
You ain't walk up
Let's
on
start with
nobody
Stephen A.
else.
Smith's immediate response,
You walked up on
because
Stephen
this
A.
is where
Smith.
things got really interesting. Rather than backing down or apologizing, Smith doubled down on his position.
You know he
the
from
very
Queens.
next day on
He don't give a
ESPN's
fuck.
First Take, and later on Gilbert Arenas' Gil's Arena podcast.
That's right.
Describing LeBron's
He went all in on that.
weak and some bullshit. But here's the kicker. Smith also acknowledged that he understood LeBron's reaction as a father.
LeBron ambushed me at the Lakers game last night. The guy came right up to me, courtside, and yelled in my face. He said, "F you, Stephen A. I take bigger than you. Plus, I heard you said Bronny sucks at basketball, and he's only in
You
the
saying that on
because
ESPN?
I made the Lakers draft him."
Wait, hold up. That clip right there is actually from a fake video that was circulating online, which shows just how wild this story was getting with all the misinformation flying around. The real Stephen A. Smith was much more measured in his actual response. But the fact that fake videos were being created...
Fake
shows
videos.
just
These
how much
AI
the
is getting out of
story
control,
captured
man.
public
Getting out of
imagination.
control,
In his real
man.
response, Smith said, "I thought it was weak. I thought it was some
Bullshit.
But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father." This acknowledgement was crucial because it showed that even in his criticism of LeBron's approach, Smith understood the emotional weight of the situation.
Yeah, it was a father.
Smith
We all
didn't
get
stop
that. It was a
He
dad
explained
talking.
his position more
But
thoroughly,
nigga,
expressing
again, you ain't run up
frustration
on
that LeBron
nobody
chose a
else
public
though.
setting rather
You
than
run up
approaching
on
it in private.
nobody
Smith
else.
argued that his criticism wasn't aimed at Bronny personally, but at LeBron as a father for potentially setting unrealistic expectations.
Right.
This distinction became a key.
We supposed to
part of
protect
Smith's
our
defense
kids.
throughout
Ain't that
the
what we
entire
supposed to do? We supposed to
controversy.
protect
Now,
them
here's where LeBron's media
from
savvy
all
really
types
came
of
into
shit.
play. For
Even
weeks
at
after the
21 or
confrontation,
20,
LeBron
but you put
remained
your son in a
silent, letting the
situation
story sit
where
and build. This wasn't accidental.
he might
LeBron has
fail.
mastered the art of timing when it comes to media narratives. He knew that his silence was creating anticipation.
You know what I'm saying?
When
So what if he
finally
failed?
decided to
If he
respond,
fails,
it
then
carried
what,
maximum
LeBron?
impact. That
At
was
least he got in the
on
league,
March
though.
26,
At least my son made it in the
2025,
league.
when LeBron appeared on
Michael Jordan's
Mac
son could have gotten in the league
which was
because of his
simulcast
dad.
on ESPN. This wasn't just
Was
any
he?
interview.
No, he ain't
This
ready.
was LeBron taking his response directly to one of ESPN's own platforms, essentially bringing the fight to Stephen A. Smith's home turf.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah.
I know that he completely missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players.
Yes, you is.
What they
That
do
will
on the court.
watch him cover it up.
Job
He covers it
to
up.
criticize or to be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game.
This Taylor Swift comparison was absolutely brilliant from a media perspective. LeBron wasn't just defending his actions, he was attacking Smith's motivations, suggesting that Smith was milking the controversy for personal gain and publicity. The comparison to a pop star's tour implied that Smith was performing rather than genuinely analyzing, turning the criticism back on the critic. But LeBron wasn't done. He continued his attack by painting a vivid and frankly hilarious picture of Smith's reaction to the controversy.
He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair and his tiny whiteies on the couch.
This imagery was so specific and so funny that it immediately became a meme. LeBron had essentially turned Stephen A. Smith into a caricature, the lonely sports commentator getting excited about controversy while
LeBron, nobody give a fuck if you talk about them.
Character assassinations.
You mad because Stephen A. Smith won't put you at number one all time. He won't put you at the GOAT. That's what this is really all about. Stephen A. gonna say, LeBron mad because I won't put him at number one. I got him at number two. It's good to be number two. Ain't that wrong to be at number two? Shit. At least you ain't number 10.
Comfortable crossing personal lines.
I've been following, I've been watching, I've been telling people
it was my
LeBron,
job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
I don't know,
and I
because you're not protecting
think a lot
nobody,
of
you're
the
protecting
media,
yourself.
including him, And
I don't
he's gonna be happy as hell.
His positioning was strategically brilliant. LeBron wasn't just fighting for his son, he was fighting for all players against an increasingly invasive media landscape. He was painting himself as a leader, protecting his peers, which resonated with many current and former NBA players who felt that sports media had indeed become too personal in their coverage. But if you thought the war of words was over, you'd be dead wrong. The real fireworks came later that same day when LeBron scored a game-winning shot against the Indiana Pacers. In his moment of triumph, with adrenaline pumping and emotions high, LeBron decided to take his Stephen A. Smith trolling to the next level. He posted a video on Instagram of Stephen A. Smith boxing from over a decade ago, accompanied by the caption, "Womp, womp, womp." This wasn't just throwing shade. This was a full-on social media news strike.
You supposed to be bigger than that, right?
Smith had previously made comments about how he would have immediately swung if LeBron had physically confronted him during their courtside.
And he's supposed to.
Posting this old boxing footage with the mocking sound effects, LeBron was essentially calling Smith's bluff, suggesting that his tough talk was just that, talk. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The post received 500.
I don't understand it. I mean, it's petty. It's petty, man. It's petty shit. It's like watching two best friends who mad at each other. Now they, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like.
It takes on what many were calling the most savage social media post in sports history. Stephen A. Smith's response to this Instagram post was swift and furious. The next day, March 27, 2025, Smith fired back on First Take and his podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show, calling LeBron full of it and a liar. Smith defended his boxing credentials and reiterated his stance that his criticism had always been professional, not personal. But here's where this story gets even more layered. Smith also brought up LeBron's history with various controversies, including his comments about the NBA's China situation and his absence from certain high-profile events. This escalation showed that both sides were now willing to bring up past grievances and turn this into a comprehensive character